What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to week 6 of the Axial Honcho budget build. This week we have 2 upgrades that we're going to take a look at. The first one is going to be a new Holmes Hobbies brush motor that's going to take all of our budget, and the second one is going to be a freebie little mod that we're going to do to recycle some of the parts that we used to have on this car. We'll get to that at the end of the video. But let's jump into this new Holmes Hobbies brush motor that we're going to replace that stock Axial 35-turn sealed can motor. Now, brush motors are a fairly cost-effective way to have extremely smooth power. The motor that comes in this truck is a sealed end bell motor, which means that there's no maintenance that you can do to that motor. The way that it comes is the way that it's going to be until it burns up, and then at that point, you're just going to toss it. The new motor that we're going to put in is a rebuildable motor. Now, I'm going to use a Holmes Hobbies Crawlmaster 16-turn motor, but that 16-turn isn't exactly how it first sounds. Now, standard brush motors like you see in the Honcho out of the box is a 3-slot armature. What the 35-turn means is that the copper wire inside of the motor can is wrapped around those 3 slots 35 times. The amount of copper that is inside of that motor is the important part. That's kind of what gives you the amount of torque or speed that you get. The more copper you put in there, the more torque you get, but the less speed you end up with. Now, this Crawlmaster that I have here is a 16-turn, but it's got 5 slots in that armature rather than 3. So 16 turns around those 5 slots gives you a pretty equal amount of copper as the 35-turn 3-slot. Now, why do you care about 5 slots versus 3 slots? The answer is how smooth that a 5-slot motor is in comparison to a standard 3-slot. This 5-slot Crawlmaster is noticeably smoother on the bottom end and has great torque still. The overall speed is going to be very similar to this 35-turn. If I wanted a little bit more speed, I would get this exact same motor in the 13-turn rather than the 16-turn. That 13-turn is going to be a little bit more comparable to something like a 27-turn motor. And then, like mentioned earlier, this motor is completely rebuildable. That means if anything goes wrong with this motor, every single part of it could be replaced. So just like you buy a hobby grade RC so that if something happens, you can fix it, a very similar situation with a motor like this one that we have here. And that's why it is nice to have a motor like this so that you can do that maintenance and stretch that investment out over a longer period of time rather than replacing the motors after a certain amount of runtime. However, if you do want a little bit better motor, but you don't want to spend all that much money, Holmes also has a couple of other options in the Trailmaster line that are also sealed end bell can motors. So if you just need something new, either you burn up the one you have, or you just want something a little bit different speed or torque, he's got some options there for you as well. Links to all of these products are available in the description below. I do want to go over how this motor is installed on this video though, just in case any of you have never tackled this before. First, we're going to remove the 4 screws from the bottom of the skid plate that hold the transmission in place. Now, before removing the transmission, rotate the rear drive shaft and remove the set screw that holds it in place. With that set screw removed, you can then just pull the drive shaft out of place, and this will allow you to pull that motor and transmission out much easier. You can cut any zip ties holding your wires in place to make things a little bit more easy to maneuver. With all those wires free, you can then just pull the bullet plugs out that attach the motor to the ESC. Remove the 2 screws holding the motor to the transmission. At this time, we're going to remove the pinion from the motor as well. Now, since we're still using the stock ESC, I'm going to make it simple and I'm going to reuse these pigtails that were previously installed on this Axial motor. I'm going to cut off the heat shrink first, and then we're going to desolder them from the motor. If you're new to wiring on an RC, picking up one of these little helpful hands is one of the best investments you can find. I'll put the link in the description below. Now, we're going to take our solder and just tin the area where the motor wires are going to connect again to make soldering a little bit easier. To attach the motor leads, we're just going to reheat the solder that we installed on those motor tabs and allow that motor wire to bond. To reinstall, we're going to put the motor onto the transmission first. Note the orientation of your motor wires to make sure that they're not in an inconvenient place like all the way at the bottom. Keep them rotated up towards the top just to make sure that you can get your wiring routed cleanly around your car. Loosely install those motor screws so that you can still adjust the motor side to side. Before you reinstall this pinion, make sure to remove the set screw that holds it onto the motor shaft and reapply a small amount of Loctite. Place the pinion onto the motor shaft and make sure that it's put far enough in so that it is only riding on the gear teeth and not this solid area of the pinion. Setting the gear mesh is the next tricky part. A lot of us can just do it by feel now, but another way that you can do it is by taking a piece of paper, sliding it between the motor and the pinion, and then meshing the two gears together. With the paper in between them, tighten the screws on the motor. Then you can spin the gear to remove the paper. There should be just the ever so slightest amount of play on the spur gear to the pinion. You want to make sure that they're not just jammed together and creating a bunch of friction between each other. You want just this tiny amount of back and forth between the two gears. The rest of the reinstallation is just the reverse of what we did at the beginning. So now that we've tackled the motor, let's jump into that other upgrade I was discussing earlier. One thing that has bothered me about the Honcho when running and filming is that there's this gap underneath of the rear of the bed, underneath of where that fuel cell is. You can just see straight through it. And other than the whole continuity issue of the fuel cell not having a lower half, it's just, I don't like to see through the truck. That's why we did the interior and that's why we did the fender wells. So this is one of those last areas to accomplish. Now I thought about just doing either some little fender liners on the inside to kind of cover that area up or something along that lines, and I still may do that in the future. But what I wanted to do is actually recycle something that we took off the truck earlier, and that was some pieces of that front bumper. So what I've come up with is I designed up this little 3D printed angle bracket thing. And what this does is this takes these little side panels from that front bumper and they bolt right to this. And then this affixes to the underside of the bed. And it gives you this little filler panel. Now it's not a major appearance thing. It just kind of fits and it kind of flows with it, and it's parts that we already had on the truck, so why not use them? I'll throw up the design file for this mount on Thingiverse. You can print it yourself or have a buddy print it or find a number of people online that can definitely get this printed for you if you don't have the means to do it yourself. And if you can't find anyone that'll help you out and print these brackets for you, leave a comment below and I'll pick 3 winners for next week and I'll send you a set from my printer. I'm gonna run you through the install of this piece real quickly just to show you exactly how I achieved this look. The first thing we need to do is remove the wing panel from the front of the bumper. Now attach the panel to the bracket. You can use the M2 screws that we removed previously, or I'm choosing to use some 164 by 1/4 inch beadlock ring screws that I had laying around. The only real difference is that these are stainless and the other ones are just a black steel. So now we have that filler panel bolted onto the 3D printed bracket. Now the lip of the 3D printed part fits perfectly into the notch of the Honcho bed towards the front side. To attach this, you can either just use some simple double-sided tape, or you can drill a small hole in the top of the bed liner into the 3D printed part and attach it with just a screw. I'm actually going to do both methods. So that's gonna do it for week 6, guys. Thanks for watching. I appreciate all the comments, no matter what they are. I love reading almost all of them. We're only 6 weeks into this thing with a long ways to go still. Definitely really starting to get into some of the good modifications to this truck, and I'm really looking forward to how this thing is going to start evolving from here. If you have any suggestions on what you would like to see in the next upcoming weeks, drop them in the comments below as well. Make sure to go check out Matt's video for week 6, and I've got a playlist below as well that has all of our videos in chronological order. So with that, guys, like the video if you enjoyed it, subscribe if you haven't, and we'll see you on the next one.